Hey, yeah. I was just saying if this worked. We gonna talk about this Nintendo 64 failure, um, because it needs to be addressed. Nintendo and the online addition to the Nintendo Switch seems to be something Nintendo themselves don't fully understand. First of all, let's look at the list. We have Mario 64, obviously. If you're going to offer some sort of Nintendo 64 offerings, Mario 64 is not a difficult understanding to why. That's a no-brainer. Yeah, you're going to offer Mario 64. Let's keep going. Mario Kart 64 technically makes sense. It's Mario Kart, which has been popular since the Super Nintendo. Makes sense that it would be on there. We have Star Fox 64. Again, makes perfect sense. Nothing wrong with that title. It's Star Fox, and Star Fox 64 is possibly the greatest Star Fox game we've had. Next up, we have Yoshi and Yoshi's Story for the N64. Fucking, it's another Mario offshoot game. Next up, we had The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, arguably one of the biggest RPGs, the biggest Zelda game, arguably, in the Nintendo community. It would have to be on there, making perfect sense as what that game means, not only to Nintendo, but the fan base as well. It makes sense. Up next, we have Mario, Tennis, and Dr. Mario. More Mario titles, which there's not a whole lot wrong with, but I know two games that I could have automatically put in place of Mario Tennis and Dr. Mario. Right off rip, one game would be Zelda Majora's Mask, as that is a direct sequel pretty much to Ocarina of Time, basically continuing the story as if Link died. So, right off rip, the tennis game we can get rid of, and Dr. Mario we can get rid of, or we could pick between the two and just get rid of one of those and already have a better offering. Even though I would remove both of those. Bring one of them back for 1 month and bring another one later on down the line. We have what I hope to see, or I hope is what is known as Sin and Punishment, which is what it looks like. That game was only offered over in Japan, as far as I'm aware. The box art does not necessarily disagree with me. And then the last game, which is another game you can remove completely and find something else, is called Winback. This game, again, just, it's like they decided we're going to pick the stupidest games we can think of, or the most non-effort games that we can think of for the service for Nintendo 64, which is something the fans have been asking for. Now, Sega, I gotta take you to task for this one, because you're letting Nintendo do a Sega Genesis selection of games on their online service, and just like with the N64, man, this is damn near pathetic. All right, we have Castlevania Bloodlines, Cortana, or not Cortana, Contra, sorry, Hard Corps, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Beam Machine, Dolphin, Echo the Dolphin, Golden Axe, Gunstar Heroes, Musha, game looks like it's called Strider, Streets of Rage 2, Sonic 2, Shinobi 3, Shining Force, Restar, I guess is how you say that, Fantasy Star 4. Those are all the games for the Sega Genesis. Sega, I really have no hate towards you. You made the Sega Genesis and is one of the greatest consoles you guys put out. However, the offerings. What the hell is this? Mr. Robotnik? Really? You couldn't put Sega 1, or not Sega, but Sonic 1, or say Sonic 3, or even Sonic and Knuckles? You know, the more well-off Sonic games? Really, just Sonic 2 is the only one you're gonna offer us? On day one, this has got to be your day one offerings. This is piss poor. This is just fucking piss poor. This is not understanding this audience at all. Yes, you have some good games here. You have, sorry for the hitting there. I know you heard that. Sonic 2 is a great game. Streets of Rage 2 is a great game. Castlevania Bloodlines is a great game. Golden Axe is a great game. But the rest of these, Phantasy Star 4, that's a pick or choose. I was not into the RPGs on the Sega Genesis like that. So again, that's a pick and choose game. But when we're looking at majority of the offerings here, it's piss poor, and you wonder why people are not happy. You wonder why the audience is looking at you like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? It's because of this shit. You have 1 or 2 games in each of these that are just, they're great games, but then the rest of them are shit. The rest of them are shit. You can replace every one of these games with something else. And Dr. Robotnik seriously could have been any Sonic title that was in the main 3 offered on the Sega Genesis, and you chose this game. Why? It's like Nintendo's inability to understand what to offer and pull a decent profit because they're the only ones to offer it is completely missed. You could, I don't know all the legal terms that go into play on doing what Nintendo's doing, but how much money would it cost them to put every single motherfucking Nintendo game from the NES, Super NES, and Nintendo 64 online? How hard would that be? Because you can do that right now for free. You can do this for free. Okay? You can make an entire Nintendo 64, get all the games for free. You can get a Super Nintendo Mini, load that bitch up with every Super Nintendo game under the sun for free. Same thing with the Nintendo Mini. Same thing with the Sega Mini. Any of those consoles, you can go out and purchase one of those, whether it be through eBay, whether it be walking in a store, whether it be Facebook. The fact that you can buy these things still, I would go out and buy them, spend the $100 on them, bring it home, and just dump the games on the console. It's a lot better to do. You get the controller, you get the console, they're HDMI. There's not a whole lot that you have to do, and it's a hell of a lot better than paying $3 to $20 a year, depending on what service you go with, which version you go with. It's $3 a month or $20 a year. This does not make that better. I would much rather you charge me $60 and offer me every fucking game that's ever been playable on said consoles. Something both PlayStation and Xbox are not doing. This would make you a much more profit and much more valuable player when it comes to the online games. It would also make Sony actually physically step up and turn PS Now into what it needs to be, which is a fucking PlayStation service and or legacy service, which is what it needs to fucking be, Jeff. Just saying. I just wanted to put it out there because I did watch the whole direct. Wasn't super impressed. Did see the Bayonetta 3 thing, but the online thing stood out more than anything because I was hoping they would not be as disappointing, and all it did was just disappoint. And I mean, the backlash is much well deserved. Yes, it is much well deserved. As Nintendo just continues to translate within their own market that they do not get it, that they just don't understand. They don't get, hey, why come we have the cheapest option but people are not subscribing? Because you're offering people nothing of whatever it is they want. If you were to be like, it's $60 for the year, but you get every single Nintendo game, every single Super Nintendo game, every single N64 game, and every single Sega game, more people would pay for that. And it wouldn't matter that it was $60. You know how many games there are between all those consoles? You would make the money back without even trying. It would also bring games back to light that haven't been in the spotlight since the 90s. Like Mega Man Legends is just Mega Man 64. It's the same fucking game. Clay Fighters. Why is Chrono Trigger not on the Super Nintendo Online store yet? One of the biggest Super Nintendo games. This is what I mean when I say Nintendo doesn't understand their online. Okay? You're missing key games. Now, I'm not going to say Earthbound is not available to be played on the online store because I'm not 100% sure about that. But I know that Earthbound is on the Super Nintendo Mini. I know Chrono Trigger is not on the Super Nintendo Mini. But I put it on my Super Nintendo Mini because it should have been there to begin with. Just like it should be on the online store. It's not. There are games that have a profound impact from the late 80s to mid 90s, which is Nintendo's golden rush, if you want to call it that, okay? Where it was, they went up against Sega, they brought the gaming industry back to the moment cartridges got left behind, okay, which would be when PlayStation came out in 95. So, again, that whole span there, you got a lot of content to work with, and you're giving us crumbs, and they're the shitty crumbs at best. No one's dogging Mario, no one's dogging Zelda. There's more to offer, and it's sad to see that this is what we're getting. It's absolutely deserved the blowback because it's unexcusable and very laughable. The games that I just read off, this is what you're offering. You only get a pass because it's $3 a month. That's why you get away with it. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. As always, man, until next time, hey, yeah.